Hello, 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 Cecilia. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Cecilia, how are
Hello.
you?
Hi, Foster. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good,
Thank
good.
you for having me.
Hello, hello, hello,
Hi,
Cecilia.
Cherise. Hello. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. Good
Yes, I hear
afternoon,
you well.
everyone.
I hear you really well. Good afternoon. Thank you, Cecilia and Cherise. Can
And
you hear me,
Alma,
Professor?
Professor Fragni, let me introduce you Cherise, who kindly is joining us today to answer a few questions and also connect with students.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry. I left the YouTube open. That's why I was having the the echo. So Cecilia, thank you very much. Great to see you. And also you brought the colleague from Johns Hopkins, Charisse. Wonderful to have you here as well. Thank you so much for coming. Cecilia, I have, and unfortunately, I'm teaching now in 1 minute, but then I'll be connected here in my breaks, and then I'll see that also the recorded. Same thing as well, Charisse. Thank you so much, and I hope we can interact as well soon. But I'll pass to Alma and run to my other lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And Cecilia, it's a pleasure to have you again this year in the PPCR Talk. We're really proud of all your achievement, and we're really also we want to say congratulations for your graduation in the MPH and your
Thank you.
Dear Cherise, I also want to thank you for being here today and helping our students. We actually promoted this lecture a lot today because we know that you're gonna be able to help them with their doubts and anything that relating to the MPH in this grade school. So we're really happy to have you here today. So Cecilia, yes, you got out the floor. I'll be here in the background helping you. I'm moderating the
Okay.
question, and you might begin.
I I think I cannot share because someone. Oh, let me try to share again now.
Let's try now. Sure. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. So this is the agenda for today. I'll start with a brief introduction, some background about myself. Then I'll talk about my experience with PPCR, how it helped me with the MPH application. Then we are going to jump the MPH application, talk a little bit about scholarship opportunities, and then about the MPH itself. So first, I'd like to introduce Cherise. She's the admissions officer here at Bloomberg, and she's joining us today. I'm also here sharing her contact information, and she said that she's willing to help and answer questions by email if you need as well. So first of all, thank you very much for being here with us. So this is a photo of me during graduation, which was a month ago. So for those of you who don't know me, I graduated from my med school at University of Federal of Minas Gerais in Brazil. I did my training in radiation oncology, then I worked for a while as a chief resident and as an attending physician. And I graduated from PPCR in 2021. I just completed the MPH and I'm a soon to be postdoc fellow here at the school. I was in the class of 2021. And I'm showing you this just to highlight a little bit of the opportunities that you guys might have during this year that can really help you with the application and also not only the MPH application, but also scholarship application. So my residency capstone project, I actually used a lot of PPCR to create it. Um, I practiced all the concepts when I was developing my project, and I also submitted it for the writing workshop that usually happens in November. So I had the opportunity to have feedback from Professor Halstead, also from my colleagues, and this really helped me to have a publication in a good and respected journal. So the first advice that I would give you in the program is to take advantage of all the opportunities, all the feedback, the faculty, to start developing your curriculum because this can help you with the application for the MPH and also for scholarships. Also, I volunteered as a TA for the next years, and I think this is a learning opportunity and also an opportunity to collaborate with your peers and further enhance your curriculum. So, if you're thinking about the MPH, really take advantage of everything that PPCR has to offer you to really help you increase your chances. So, starting now with the MPH application, for here at Hopkins and most schools of public health, the MPH application happens through SOFAS, which is a unified system. My first recommendation here, and I cannot highlight this enough, is apply early. The required documents for Hopkins need to be submitted by December 1st. I'm going to walk you through all the steps, but I really need you guys to remember that you cannot do this last minute. So if you're planning on doing this for the next cycle, start planning today. Start organizing yourselves, because if you leave it for the last minute, chances are you're not going to have everything ready. And also, especially for those of you who want to apply for scholarships, you want to have your application well developed. You want to have everything well written, reviewed, and reviewed again to make sure that you're really showing who you are and increasing your chances of being selected for a scholarship. I know this slide is a little busy, but I'm going to send this presentation to you and I have the links here, so I think it can help you guys later when you're preparing and checking all the requirements. So this is just a timeline of everything that happens in SOFAs and when you need to worry about each step. The cycle usually starts mid-August, and for the MPH full-time, you will have to have everything ready before December 1st. So even before the application process, what you guys should do is first research the programs. Here, I'll show you the links and how you can do it. Research about cycle dates, deadline requirements, see the application fees. So SOFAs, it will be $145 for first program and then $55 for any additional program. You can take a look at their website for possibilities for waivers. Take a look at recommendation requirements and minimum requirements, including if you need any prerequisites, standardized test scores, supplementary applications, and also transcript evaluations. And I'm highlighting standardized test scores because especially for international students, you will need to submit an English proficiency test, and this is something that you can start planning and studying for even before the cycle. And also about credential evaluations, I have a few slides about this, but you need to be very attentive because this can take time, and this is something that can really be a problem if you don't plan accordingly. So international students need to be very, very careful and attentive to the deadlines regarding credential evaluation. So you will start taking a look at your transcripts if you're school to see the process. I'm going to explain this a little bit later. Start contacting and thinking about who are you going to ask for recommendation letters. Start drafting your personal statement. And I think sometimes we think that, oh, this is just a page, it's going to be easy. But especially for international students, depending on your background, at least for me in Brazil, we are not used to write personal statements of purposes. So it was really challenging for me to learn how to write this type of letter, understand how I was going to show myself to people and really show them that I was a good candidate. Again, take advantage of the community that you have here. I remember when I was applying, I had my TAs reviewing my drafts. They did Zoom calls with me and they were giving me feedback, but you need time. This is an iterative process, so don't leave it for the last minute. So you will have time to review and ask peers to review it for you. And also take a look at the website. Then the recommendation from SOFAs is once the cycle opens, which is at least 3 months before the deadline, you're going to create your account, start completing the sessions of the recommendations, colleagues attended, and everything. The biographical and academic information in SOFA is very detailed. There are a lot of things to complete. And again, you want to make this carefully. You want to do it. You want to really show the selection committee who you are and why you're a good candidate, and you need time to do it properly. Take time to writing to see if you're really displaying your full potential there. So again, don't leave it for the last minute because it takes time to really create an application that's going to stand out. Then you're also going to send your transcripts, and attention to international students. I'm going to explain how this works. If you attend school in the US, the process is a little more simple. Then you're going to enter your coursework. Professional transcript is usually for people who attended school in the US. Then once you're approaching the deadline, you're going to complete, submit, review the verification process, monitor your application, and keep monitoring, especially for recommendation letters, because you want to make sure that people are actually submitting it. So this is the program finder. This is where you can find more information. Here's the link about the programs, and then they have direct links to each school where you can understand how the program works and check deadlines, requirements, and if you fulfill everything. So about the system SOFAs, what you have to do, you will complete the application forms, which I already told you that they are very detailed. You will do your credential evaluation, next slides, statement of purposes, start thinking about this now, test scores, letters of recommendations, and your CV resume. Remember, programs might have different deadlines and different test score requirements, so take a look at this and plan accordingly. About the credential evaluation, again, I'm going to be repetitive. Don't leave it for the last minute because this can take time. Credential evaluation for international students happens through the system WES. In this link that I provided here, you can log in, select where you attended your school, your degree, and they will give you the type of document that you will need for your credential evaluation. So WES is going to submit this to SOFAs, and then this is going to be evaluated by the programs. Once you complete this, I'll show you an example of like how it appears to me so you can understand what you will need. So for example, I attended medical school in Brazil. They require my original document, the academic transcript, and also an English translation. So first thing, the academic, you will need to require the document in your original school, and they will have different methods for delivery. So you can have the school sending it to WES, or sometimes you must send it. So take time for the mail to be delivered and also see the requirements for the type of envelope and all the bureaucracy related to it. And also they do have translation requirements. So you will have to require your transcripts in your school, also do a formal translation, like a notarized translation, and send it to us. How do you send it? Usually they will have, you can mail it depending on how the school sends it to you, but WES also has this digital partnership with some schools. And if your school has a partnership with WES, your transcripts can be sent directly through email, which makes the process easier. So since we still have time, one thing that I've seen students do is ask in their school where they graduated, talk to people in their international office to contact WES directly, establish a partnership so you can make this process easier. If your school doesn't have a partnership, you will have to send the school will have to send it to us. And again, that's why we highlight so much, don't leave it for the last minute, because first, you will need to retrieve this with your school. Some schools will take some time to do it. You will need to have a notarized translation. You'll need to send it to us. WES will need to do the credential evaluation, then submit it to SOFAs. And you need to have everything ready before December 1st. So start planning accordingly. About English proficiency tests, this is a screenshot from the Hopkins website. You can see that they accept different tests and they have different scores, so you can plan accordingly. There are a few exemptions. I have the link here. My suggestions for you, I did take the TOEFL. You can start doing it, planning before. Once you are applying in the online system for TOEFL, take a look at the code, because you can just put the SOFAS code and then they will send your report directly to the school. And also in the TOEFL website, they do offer some free test samples that you can do and study for the test before taking it to make sure that you will achieve your goal. Let me just see the questions here. Provision, who had their training English. Okay, so for the TOEFL, there are some sorry, Shurs, do you want to
No,
say
I was just
something?
going to say I can answer that one at the end
Okay.
if you like. Yes.
Okay, so let's go to questions in the end. So here, just about the test scores. Okay, standardized tests. I was talking to Sharice about that today. For the MPH, PGRE is optional, but here I have the link for all Hopkins programs. So if you're thinking about applying for something different, like an MBA or PhD, check each specific program might have different requirements. So take a look at what you want so you can plan accordingly as well. Last things you're going to do in SOFAs, they will require you 3 letters of recommendation. So start thinking about who are you gonna ask for those letters. Start already talking to them. And here my personal tip. They require 3 letters, but I would advise you to request at least 4 letters. This happened to me that one of the people, they were like, I'm too busy. They forgot to submit it by the deadline. So if you have 4 or even 5, you make sure that you will have the minimum of 3. So think about this and think about at least 4 people to ask for a recommendation. You can send up to 5 invitations in SOFAs. Your resume, again, start planning. And for the statement of purpose, my personal tip, read carefully the prompt. They will tell you what you're expecting to see, what type of question they want to have answered in your personal statement, and also have people proofreading it for you. But for you to ask someone to proofread your document, you need to give them time to review it. So again, this is not something that you're going to start writing a week before the deadline. So now talking a little bit about scholarships, I will start this sharing my personal experience. When I was starting applying to the MPH, I remember I had a conversation with Professor Fragni because I was feeling very insecure about the whole process. I was like, it's very expensive. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford it. And I remember Professor Fragni telling me, apply for the MPH and then apply for scholarships. Do not stop yourself from trying just because you don't know if you're going to have a scholarship yet. So go ahead, try, because there are plenty of funding opportunities. They will require work, but they are out there. So for those of you who, like me, were scared about the financial aspect, it does take time, it does take work, it does take planning, but there are many possibilities for that, especially and including for us international students. So here, scholarships is important for you guys to understand that schools might offer scholarships and you might be automatically eligible for them based on your SOFA's application. So that's why you want to do it carefully. You want to be very complete, very thorough with your information, but they might also require separate applications. So this is from the Hopkins website. Take a look because they have a description of many scholarships. You want to read about them. You want to understand the requirements, the deadlines, because they might be different from your MPH application. Keep it organized. I used to have a spreadsheet that I would go to those websites, search through scholarships, see if I qualified, and I would write down scholarship, website, deadlines, documents, what I needed to do to have it all organized. I applied for multiple scholarships, and it's normal that you will receive some no's in your life. So if you apply to many, it increases your chances that you're going to get a positive answer for one of them. The third thing is search thoroughly. So sometimes it's not out there, and also search locally, because you can have scholarships from institutions from your own country. So do not limit yourself to just the first page of Hopkins website. Use the scholarship search tools, talk to people, talk to foundations, talk to former students, because they might have information for you. This is also from the Hopkins website, that they do have this partnership, this program that they will match scholarships from foundations, government entities, or established philanthropic funding sources, as long as funds are available. So another thing you can do, we do have scholarships that are already well established. They already have all the requirements and everything, but you can also go for foundations or philanthropic funding sources in your own country, in your region, in your city. You can talk to them. You can explain that you're applying for something, and you can request them to sponsor you. And the sponsorship might be matched by the school, and you can get a really good financial support from that. And here, there's also more information on tuition and funding, and also the financial ed web link. And they have all those resources explaining about different funding sources, and also some scholarship finding websites and opportunities. Again, my personal tip is keep it organized, start creating your spreadsheet, because there are a lot of resources and you will want to apply to multiple opportunities. This is just an example. This is the scholarship that helped me to be here today. So for Brazilian students, there's this partnership with Maria Emilia Foundation. They usually offer 5 scholarships for Brazilian students that cover tuition plus a stipend of $2,000 per month for the duration of the program. They do require a separate application. The deadline is a little different from the MPH deadline. You will need to have your acceptance letter already. So I put the link here. I highly suggest you to start following them because they usually will announce, they have webinars and they explain all the process. But this is definitely an amazing opportunity to help you with the funding process. So ending here, just the take home message again is apply broadly, and even if you are worried about the financial aspect, do not give up on the MPH, on applying on the MPH because of that, because you can be contemplated by one of those scholarships. Speaking a little bit about the program itself, and then we are going to go to questions. First of all, just presenting a little bit the school. The school is located in Baltimore. That's where I am now. And this is just a snapshot from the website, the first ranked public school in the country. It's really, really big. So you will have the opportunity to interact with faculty from different departments. I put the link here because I know that I'm focusing the presentation on the MPH. That's the course I did. But I know that we might have people here interested in other type of masters or maybe a PhD. So I advise you to go to the website, visit the departments, take a look at the centers, the programs that they do have available, because there's a lot of research. They do receive, I put this here, so for a snapshot from the website, a lot of grants for research. So there's a lot of things going on. So for example, if you're interested in study tuberculosis, there's a huge tuberculosis research center that you can focus on that. So take a look, explore the opportunities, because there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of intersection with different schools, and there's definitely a lot of opportunity. Focusing specifically on the MPH, I did a full-time on-site program that lasts for 11 months. The program, we can have basically two choices. You can either customize or have a concentration. They have 12 concentrations available. I did epidemiology and biostatistic methods for public health and clinical research. Regardless of the concentration, this is what they call interdepartmental school-wide program. So you will have classes from the core curriculum that are related that will be taken in different departments. So even if I concentrated in epi and biostats, I had to take healthcare policy classes, communication classes, environmental health classes, health equity classes. So I think this gives you a lot of multidisciplinarity, and it helps you navigate more healthcare systems, research, and other areas that I was not trained at during my medical school, such as healthcare policy. Aside from the core curriculum, you can have your concentration courses that you have to take. So for me, it was the epidemiology and the biostatistics series. And then you have the elective that you can choose whatever you want to do. And here, just so you can have an idea of how it works, the course here is divided in terms. Each term lasts for 2 months. So you have summer, first, second, third, and fourth, total of 5 terms. And for the electives, I just put a snapshot here. If you want to explore more about the options, courses that are offered, here's the link to the website. And I just put here so you guys can have a notion that they offer more than 2,000 courses. So there's a lot of things, very specific hard skills. If you want to learn coding, if you want to focus on causal inference, drawing evidence from observational data, if you want to practice more communication skills. So there are lots of different paths that you can take. It's extremely flexible. And basically what you have to do during your time, I also put the link here to the curriculum. You will have the core courses that I mentioned, elective courses that you can choose. You will have the advising and goals analysis sessions. You will have a practicum and a capstone. The capstone is a research project. The practicum is really trying to apply the abilities in a more practical way. And they also have some opportunities for field experience. And another thing that some people sometimes ask, the MPH, I did have a background in cancer, in radiation oncology. I did epidemiology and biostatistics, but I applied all that I learned and all the methods, and my capstone was focused specifically in cancer research. So you can use your background experience and your subject matter expertise and really guide your curriculum towards your interests. And here, just another timeline. So we were talking, cycle will start mid-August, even though you can start preparing documents test scores now. Application deadline usually December 1st. You will start hearing answers the beginning of the year. Program starts late June, and then you have summer term, late June, beginning of July, and you will graduate at the end of May. So this is the overall timeline of the program. And also for international students, this is a very common question. Usually I'm not, just a disclaimer, I do not give any, I'm not a specialist on this matter, so I'm talking as a student, but I also put the link here if you want to have more information. But for students that come with F1 status, after the MPH, there's something called the OPT, that it's practicum training, so you can still work in something related to your study. And since we are a STEM designated program, this can be for up to 3 years. So you need to apply, there is a specific process, but after the MPH, you can work with something as long as it's related to your degree. And this is the overall view that I wanted to give you all. First of all, thank you, Alma and Professor Fragni, for the opportunity. Also, thank you, Charisse, for being here. And now I think we can open for questions. Charisse, do you want to add something before we start?
Yes, sorry, I was not off of mute. Yes, I have a number of notes. First of all, thank you, Cecilia, for your excellent presentation about our program and all the feedback that you provided. Such great information. So I noted a number of things that I want to highlight in response to what you shared. The first thing is, I love how you started off by repeating over and over again about preparation and just how that makes the difference. And it's so true. Preparation of your application can make the difference in the amount of possible scholarship you could receive. So I cannot stress that enough, that preparation for the application is so key. We receive applications from thousands of people all around the world. So it is very competitive. So, and then even with that, our dual degree program, which is the combined MPH MBA program, has become even more competitive. Like, just to give you an example, we had triple the amount of applications this year for the MPH MBA. So it has become even more competitive than the MPH program. All right. In terms of recommenders, I know someone asked what makes a strong application. What I work closely with our admissions committee, our reviewers, and they will say that they take a holistic approach, meaning that they review every single aspect of your application. It's not just about grades. It's not just about recommendations. They look at everything that encompasses your file. So it's so important that your statement is just as important as, your recommendations along with your grades. And so with that, I do recommend, well, first of all, let me say I can forward any of you application tips. If you reach out to me directly, I would be happy to send that to you, as well as I will be happy to even spend a little bit of time with you. I will not review your statement of purpose, but I can discuss with you and point out to you different tips that I know really makes a strong application. And I do recommend that applicants meet with their recommenders in advance, explain to each of them how you are applying for the program, and even try to give each of them, they should know you well, and even ensure that each of them even try to highlight something from your background. That makes all the difference. I've seen the recommenders go from saying, oh, they're professional to, and it's very general versus someone having a really strong recommendation in terms of their belief in you as a leader, making a difference in the public health field. That makes all the difference and the potential of you receiving a scholarship. So it's so key to meet with your recommenders. Someone asked about, should the recommenders be someone from the US? I would say that depends. That depends on how well they know you. I feel like it's better, and of course, if there's, you want to ensure that, that they is someone that knows you well, be it, and our reviewers like to see at least one academic reference as well as two professional references. However, if you don't have an academic reference, please ensure that, maybe it's a direct supervisor, a mentor, someone that can speak to your background. Okay, so a few more things. In terms of the email, in terms of external funding, I have information as well. I can forward you that information. It's very similar to what Cecilia posted, but I do have some additional information about funding. In terms of, I mentioned that I can forward to you application tips, some things that distinguish strong candidates when they highlight their quantitative skills, especially for those that tend to go after applying for the MPH MBA, really highlighting your business acumen and just if you started a business. What also, for the first time this past year, they made it for the MPH MBA dual degree program that you can apply for a GRE waiver. However, there's certain certain eligibility requirements. That is all listed within the on the SOFIS website if you select the MPH MBA dual degree option. Someone asked about, is there any exception is not the word, but option is someone was instructed in English. Yes, if your WES states that the language of instruction is English, you are not required to submit English scores, as well as there's some other exemptions that's listed on the international applicant portion of the website. And if you look there, I mean, I don't want to go through, for the sake of time, go through all the different exemptions. But if you look there, you can see that. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me about that. Another thing, in terms of, just to reiterate again about applying early, I've seen it time and time again where applicants, they wait too late to apply for their WES, and their application has everything but their credential evaluation. If there's anything missing from your file will not be advanced to our program. So it's very important to start the credential evaluation process early. I also wanted to mention that if you first create your SOFIS account and then go to WES, they will give you a 10% discount off of your WES credential evaluation. However, you must submit your SOFIS ID. Okay. Okay, a few other questions. Sebastian asked about scholarships and enhancing the leadership. I was uncertain what that meant. I'm assuming maybe if there's access to maybe conferences or something that would enhance your leadership skills. I was going to say that we do offer a field experience. It's not really a scholarship, but more like a grant that's during the winter intersession that students can apply for separately. Someone else asked about if you're not published, do you still have a great chance of being admitted? Yes, we have numerous applicants that are admitted that have not been published. And again, going back to key components, I think a big thing is just really being able to showcase and explain your passion for public health. why public health, what you plan to do with the degree. All of that makes a difference in demonstrating to the reviewers why you are a great candidate, because basically they are looking to see what distinguishes you and how you can be a fit for our program. As Cecilia mentioned, the full-time program is 11 months and it's terms that last 8 weeks, so it moves at a rapid pace. And so because of that, it's rigorous, and so you have to see that your application is your one shot to demonstrate to the reviewers how you are a fit for our program. We do not have the ability to interview every person because, again, we receive thousands of applications. So if you think of it like that, okay, I'm going to approach this and give my all to this application because this is how the reviewers will see me as a candidate. That's what you want to be able to write about and demonstrate in your application. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention is that Cecilia, again, I really appreciate you highlighting all the different departments we have. Again, we are the largest school of public health in the country, let alone probably the world, because we do have our 10 departments. And then we do have concentrations. That's the thing I love about two things I'm just going to say personally I love about our program. And this is just from me being a higher education professional with over 20 years experience, and this is my third campus that I've been at. Two things I really believe that really distinguishes the Bloomberg School. Number one, the flexibility, because you have the ability to focus on either one of the 10 concentrations, or either you can customize your program. If you don't want to have to focus on taking this set number of courses because you have interests across numerous departments, you can customize your program. So the flexibility is just so great. And then the second thing I really, really love about the school is the community. I mean, just even yesterday, we had our international student orientation, and just to see how the students, just how they welcome each other, how, people feel free to sit down with anyone from numerous different continents, countries, and everyone feels welcome. No one feels, just excluded or anything. Just the atmosphere and the community is just amazing. So I'll stop right there. I'm sorry if I spoke really fast. I just wanted to get everything in. So I welcome any questions.
And I would like here just to highlight this about the culture, to see that me, personal experience as an international student, that I was extremely welcome here. I found a great environment. Professors were extremely approachable. They were always there to help you. And I think it's a very interesting mentality and mindset that you really feel like they want you to learn, they want you to grow, they provide you mentorship. And not only faculty, but everybody around the program. And I emailed Paul forwarded me to Cherise, and she was like, absolutely, I can help you. Let's be there. Let's engage with prospective candidates. So I think I couldn't highlight more that the community is really, really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are also questions about differences between online and in-person programs.
Yes. Yes, I can reply to that. Yes. So so there's the full-time on-campus program, which is 11 months. That starts at the end of June for orientation, and then the July starts the coursework, and then individuals graduate by mid-May. So, however, there is the opportunity. Oh, and with that, we only matriculate that one time a year for the full-time on-campus program. With the online program, we matriculate students 3 times a year. So you can either apply to start in June, November. Now, the caveat about November is that all students that are admitted for November, they must attend in-person orientation in Barcelona, Spain. And going back to June, orientation is either in online. And then for January, with the third time when we admit applicants, orientation is online, it's virtual. And then along with that, international students do have the opportunity to do what we call online plus. And what that means is that you can apply to come in person to the school during one of the institutes. So that means during the summer institute in June, during the fall institute in November, or well, I shouldn't say November because that's in Barcelona. But when I say one of the institutes, either in the summer or in the winter intersession in January, you can apply so you can come during that session. Now, if you do online plus, you are unable to come during one of the 8 weeks, normal 8-week sessions. Let me see if there's some other questions. Okay, about how it works. Oh, okay. But also includes a lab residency. So so we offer courses that are either completely online, they're hybrid, or they're in person. Now, there's some courses that are online that have some students that are there in person, as well as students that are also, Cecilia, I know you could probably speak to this a little bit more as well. So, but if a course is online, it's not going to have a lab component. Only those courses that are online, on campus or hybrid will require some in-person attendance. If a course is online, it does not have any lab component or have any in-person requirements.
Just to add to that, usually you will have courses that are fully online, courses that are hybrid, and online courses, they can either be synchronous or asynchronous. So some courses you need to be, for example, live in a Zoom meeting if you're doing online. Some courses you will have recorded lectures. For labs, I think it is important to really read through the course description because sometimes, for example, for stats, we have what they call labs, but it's not a lab in the sense of like basic science lab that you're doing experiments. So I think they do offer online versions for that. But if you're thinking about a lab, like in the sense of going to the lab to do experiments, then you would need to be in person. So if you go to the course website page, I put the course direct link. You will see if the course was fully in person, online, synchronous, or asynchronous, because this will make a difference. Even if you are in person, sometimes you can mix that as well. So not necessarily you're doing all of your classes in person. Some classes, they will have recorded classes for theory, and you come in person for discussion. So this can change. I think we have an additional.
Yes, I was just looking up the program finder because someone asked, are there PhD programs that don't require a master's as a prerequisite? And yes, there are, because since we have so many different PhD programs, because pretty much each department offers a PhD program. So what I'm going to do is add here the link for, sorry, I'll have to add the wrong link. So if you go to the school's website and search for Program Finder, it will provide you a link to where you can look for all the different particular areas of a program that you're interested in, and it will give you that information. There's another question. Let me see what that said. Oh, it's just saying thank you. You're so welcome. Okay, I believe we've answered all the questions.
Great. I just got one private. Sorry. So thank you again, Cecilia and Charisse. I just got one private, and they said, "Oh, Alma, does Professor Fregni provides letter of recommendation for the students of PPCR?" Yes, we do. Actually, we gave also one to Cecilia We check for your performance in the program, the skills that you gain, your interaction in the group. We look for leadership skills and try to show them quantitative skills like statistics, the persons also, the people who join the like workshop or manuscript writing. We also talk about your performance during the group project. Right now we got a systematic review too, and also that analysis. So the groups are doing 3. And then, so we review all that and we try to express all the work that you got. We do ask you, please try to request a letter by September because the SOFAs close on December 1st, if I'm not mistaken. So we try to have everything complete. And yes, so he will be happy to help if any would like a letter. Of course, he will do it. Every year he does. He really cares for that and he likes to support our students towards your career goals. So yes.
And I'll also share the PowerPoint slides with all the links and all the contact information too. So I'm looking forward to you all. I try to put all the links there to be very comprehensive.
Well, I
Any
just want to
additional
conclude.
questions?
Oh, sorry. Are there more questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I just want to conclude with just saying thank you for inviting me. It was my pleasure to be here today. And I posted my email address. I welcome you to reach out to me. I can send you information or I can meet with you in person. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for accepting here and being here today. It was really helpful, I believe, for students.
Great. So thank you, Cherise, again, and thank you, Cecilia, for joining us again with our PPCR alumni and current students in the program. We're really happy to have you. And again, congratulations on your graduation and now your postdoc. So we're really super proud of your career, and we hope to keep working together. And Cherise, thank you. I will also share your email. I will keep it and I will pass along. This is recorded, as you know. Some people couldn't join because of the time zones, because we got students from Europe, Asia, and so on, but they will get the recording and the slides from Cecilia. So yeah, you're gonna hear from us. Okay, thank you. So have a nice evening, everyone. We're gonna see you again this Thursday during lecture 12 in the program, and we're gonna keep in touch. Thank you.
Good evening. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank